lost 42 pounds since my heaviest weight, and today I'm going to share with you the 9 steps of lasting fat loss that have helped me on this journey. We're going to start with mindset. Number 1 is decide to change. You need to decide that you're doing this. This can take years. This took me probably 6 months to a year to even get to the point. Once you get to the point, you make a split decision and you're in. When you add a load of weight, you're mentally not at the races. There's a few things that can help you gain confidence once you decide that this is the time and you're on the journey. Number 1 is you can't F this up. Losing weight is a science. Every human body works basically the same way, and if you follow the rules, you will lose weight. The only way you fail is if you stop doing the work. You stop following the plan. So there's a few little things we can do here. Number 1 is simply get back on the plan the next day. If you feel like you've messed up, if you feel like you've overate your calories, or you've not trained, or whatever it may be, you just get on the plan the next day. This is going to challenge your limiting beliefs, but if someone else can do it, that means you can do it. And always remember to celebrate progress along the way, because we are humans. We do need a reward system, and that's probably one of the reasons why you got yourself in this mess. Our reward system was with food, so we added too many calories. Right, number 2 is commit to the long-term game. For instance, I had over 50 pounds to lose. If you're losing £1 a week, that's a year-long journey pretty much. And the key thing with this step is, because it's a long-term journey, you've got to set things up and you've got to create habits that will keep you in the game for the long term. There's no point doing a 2-week sprint and crashing and burning, and you've probably been there. You've probably done that every January. You be really good, you eat perfectly, you go to the gym 6 days a week, and then by week 2 you hate it and you end up eating a load of shit, and then that's it, it's done. It's over till next year. Number 3 is set realistic goals. So I sort of alluded to it in the last point. If you are very overweight like I was, it's going to be a year job. It's going to be probably 6 months. I think a lot of people can change their lives in 12 weeks. If you've not got a lot of weight to lose, you can get in shape in 12 weeks. But if you have over 20-30 pounds to lose, it's going to be a 6-month to a year job. So you need to be realistic. You need to set achievable goals. There's no point saying I want a 6-pack by October, where we've got 2 months to get it and we're 50 pounds overweight. Simply not going to happen. You need to live with progress, not perfection. So what I mean by that is, you can get results by being good 80% of the time. You don't have to be good 100% of the time. Your perfectionism sometimes holds you back, because we think, oh, I have to be perfect or there's no point doing it. No, we can be nearly good or better than yesterday, and we can still make progress that way. Number 4, we're moving on to nutrition. It's control your portions. So with this, obviously, if we're overweight, we've probably been eating too much. The only way you can gain weight is by over consuming your calories. So we need to know what our calorie number is. Do you know your numbers? If you're on a weight loss journey, this should be the number 1 thing you actually do. If you don't, follow the equation on here for a simple way of calculating your calories, or go on TDEE calculator and it will tell you. And once you know your numbers, you can track. And if you think tracking is hard, it's not. You don't have to if you don't want to. There are ways of being in a calorie deficit without tracking, but I like to think of it like this. If you were a businessman and you wanted to know how much money was coming in and leaving every day, you would track it. It's one of the things they say in business is know your numbers. It's the same here. We want to have a sustainable diet, but we also want to have results. So we need to make sure that we are in that calorie deficit so that we are losing weight. Moving on to number 5, use the 80-20 rule. This is probably one of my favorite rules. I don't like a rigid structure, and like I said earlier, the perfectionist in you will hold you back. By using the 80-20 rule, we are allowing ourselves a little bit of wiggle room. So I like to do like a double 80-20 rule, where 80% of your diet comes from nutritious foods, 20% comes from delicious foods, the foods you love, the foods that you really want, you crave, that sort of stuff. But the majority is healthy stuff, whole foods, the stuff we know we should be eating. The way this works is the majority of it gives us the nutrients that we need. The 20% gives us the stuff we crave. We don't go crazy and we don't end up binging because we're allowing it in the diet anyway. And then the second part of the double 80-20 rule is with adherence. Obviously, you have to stick to the plan. And instead of stick to it 100% of the time, you can actually get results by sticking to it 80% of the time, which is good. So within a month, you can have 6 days, I think it is, 5 or 6 days where you're not actually hitting your calories or you're not training. So how I like to do it is get a physical calendar. You have a red X for the days that you hit it. We want to try and join up all the red X's across the calendar. If you don't hit it, so you don't hit your calories, you don't get your steps in, or you don't train, if it's a planned day for training, you put a black circle. You're allowed 5 or 6 black circles in a month. And what's interesting is when you do this, this is one of the best things I ever did, especially to get in shape and get results, is you get addicted. You want to get the red X's linking, but the months you don't get results, you notice all these black circles. So it's a good feedback mechanism. Of course I didn't get results because circle, circle, circle. Or I had a perfect month. Result, result, result. So moving on to number 6 now, you've got to fuel your body. We've alluded to it a little bit. The 80% part is the stuff that's fueling your body with good nutrients, the whole foods, the healthy stuff, the stuff that you don't really want to eat, but you know it's good for you. You need energy for your day. You can't be just running off chocolate bars and Ben and Jerry's all the time. So take that into consideration and think about volume foods. When you're on a cut or you're trying to lose weight, you're on lower calories than you're used to. You're going to feel hungry. That's part of it. Volume foods are foods that take up more space in the stomach for low calories. For instance, you can have a chocolate bar this big for 200 calories, or you can have a bowl of Greek yogurt and berries for 200 calories. Which one's going to fill you up more? And which one offers more nutrients? So you know the answer. That's what you've got to do on a day-to-day basis. Make 80% those sort of foods that fill you up and fuel your body. And then we move on to number 7. Get strong for life. 90% of the stuff you see on strength training and stuff like that on the internet is from bodybuilders, and they just want to get bigger muscles. We don't want to do that. We don't want to be a bodybuilder, but we want to get strong and we want our strength to be functional. What I mean by that is, could you hold on for dear life if you had to for something? Do you have the strength to pull yourself out of a bad situation? Can you jump up off things? Can you jump down from things? If disaster happened, are you able and do you have a capable body of doing something? Most of us, it's no. So that's why we're trying to get stronger. And just life in general, you probably got kids or grandkids in your life. You want to play with them? If they asked you to go on the monkey bars, would you be able to do it, or would you rip your shoulder in half? Because life's just going to happen regardless. You can either have a good life and a healthy life and a fit life, and you'll be able to enjoy it, or you can just sit and watch everyone else live their life. And there's an added benefit of the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn at rest, and it makes losing fat easier. All right, number 9 is recover smarter. This is something I think everyone my age struggles with. No one's getting any sleep. Everyone's doom scrolling, and we're overtraining if we are training at all. So we're doing too much. So active recovery is the first port of call here, which is just going for a walk. This is just a nice way to relax, get your steps in. You're actually active and it's actually burning calories, but it's not going to hinder any workouts. It's not going to make you super sore for a workout or before a workout. So you don't have to worry about it. It's very rare you're going to go for a walk so intense that it's actually going to affect you the next day. Like I just mentioned, sleep and rest. A lot of us that are going to the gym are going too much and we're working our bodies too far and we're not recovering. I think a lot of that is down to personal trainers, bodybuilders, supplement companies telling you have to train this much so they can sell more stuff to you. I think a lot of people would be fine with 2 workouts a week with strength training, or even 3 or 4. I think more than 4 for the average person doesn't really matter. Unless you have a specific goal and why you're training, 4 is enough for most people. So after your training, you got to recover. I like to have a day's rest in between at least. I saw a plan the other day, which was Monday and Tuesday you train upper body, then lower body, then you have 2 days rest, and then you do a full body on Friday. Then you got Saturday and Sunday to rest again. I thought that was a nice way of doing it. But just make sure you got at least 1 day's rest in between if you're doing full body. And then mobility, this one's key. So in 2020, when the pandemic happened, I was immobile. I was overweight, tired, confused. And I asked my mate Jamie, what's that app you use for mobility? And he sent to me, it was called Romwad. It's changed its name to Pliability. So I did that. My mobility was amazing after that. You can tell week by week you're getting better, and they're only 20-minute sessions. The last one is become fit. So the idea of this whole thing is to become fit, not fat. And get to a point where you can do whatever you want. If someone says go for a walk, yes, no problem. If someone says, do you want to go for a bike ride? Yeah, of course. I'm fit. I'm not fat anymore. So we're not limiting ourselves anymore. We're doing the right things, and we're doing it because we want to be able to do more with ourselves. So another thing why the fitness side of things is good, it just puts a bit of variety in training. The gym can be boring. The gym, we're going to get stronger, but the fitness adds another element. So you can bike, row, swim, run, whatever it may be. You can add it onto the end of workouts to make them more interesting. You can do fitness drills. You can even do weights in a way that work your heart and lungs more as well. And then the big one, like I just said, heart and lungs, you're doing it to make them healthier, stronger. We don't want heart disease. We don't want to get heart attacks. We don't want bad lungs. We want to be able to live longer. And by being fit, it will help us in that area. So we want to have stamina that we can keep up with the people in our lives, or even be the fittest person in the family. All this works together. The food helps us, the training helps us, the mindset helps us. So we start with belief. Believe is the first pillar. That's decide to change, commit to the long term, set realistic goals. That's all mindset stuff. You have to do that before you start. Then we move on to eat, which is nutrition side of things. Control your portions, use the 80-20 rule, fuel your body. Then we move on to train, which is the movement side of things. Get strong for life, recover smarter, and become fit. You see how they all work together, and it basically becomes a map for your fitness and your health. Give them a go through the stages. Any questions, put them below and I'll answer. Good luck.